I'm sure, like you, nothing I like to do more on a Monday than peruse Gab's musings, and something certainly stood out to me as we welcome in the man himself, plus Mark Ogden. Look at this, two senior writers side by side. What a moment. To talk about 5 substitutes, Gab, this is something that could be introduced when football returns, and you love it.
Well, love it, I think, is a bit of a stretch. It's something I would like to see. I mean, they've already introduced the possibility at UEFA level in the under-21s and I think under-19s as well. It's something that clubs have asked for. It's been talked about when the Premier League returns. It's been talked about when Serie A returns. Simply because, if they are going to have to play so many games in such a short stretch, you want to avoid injury. You want to limit minutes on the pitch. One of the key things here is that the 5 substitutions, it's not like, it would be those summer friendlies where you send out another substitute every minute. You would use those 5 substitutions. You can only use them 3 times a game. So you would see more double substitutions and things like that so as not to interrupt the flow. But I think the benefits in terms of fatigue, in terms of squad rotation, in terms of limiting minutes, and of course limiting injuries, I think it's a positive. I don't think there's any real reason why 3 is just an arbitrary number, frankly.
Mark, are you a fan of this?
Not really, no. I just think it's open to abuse. And I think that, as it stands right now, it is abuse. You get managers that will pick 2 or 3 subs in injury time to just run down the clock. What I'd say no more substitutions after 85 minutes so that you can't waste time as much as you do in the final minutes. And yeah, I understand the injury situation, but, players nowadays are so super fit. The tiredness thing doesn't come into it because fatigue now, players can run for 120 minutes. We've seen this in World Cups and European Championships where extra time that separate the teams. Why do they need another advantage? For me, it just seems like an excuse for managers to give the squad players of the game just to get them off the back. So rather than have 3 subs a day, have 5, and then on that way they can keep everybody happy, keep the squad happy. Just encourage your team to have bigger squads.
Well, first of all, I don't see I would be any more open to abuse. It's not like you can interrupt the game any more times than you do now. You've got 5 substitutions, but you can only make substitutions 3 times in the course of a match. So I think that argument doesn't really apply here. I think sending on players who are fitter and hungrier, especially in situations where games are already decided, I think it would certainly make the game, liven the game up and make it more entertaining. But I think overall, it's a question of percentages, right? We see people suffer very serious injuries, whether it's Achilles or cruciates. It's simple math. If you can reduce somebody's minutes over the course of a season by 10%, you're also reducing the likelihood of injury by 10%. And, this adds up over time.
Mark, do you agree this could liven things up, bringing on fresh legs?
No, I just think it'll make it more stale. I just think mistakes happen when players are tired. When fatigue creeps in mentally and physically. And I think the last 10, 15 minutes of games when most goals are scored because players are getting tired. If you kind of negate that by putting more fresh legs on, those late goals and those mistakes are going to be reduced, and then games are going to become more kind of stale affairs. I'd more than happily see a cut-off point of 80 minutes, 85 minutes, no more subs, and then let's see what happens. Let fatigue kick in, because how you manage fatigue is all part of the game. If players are fitter than their opponents, then great. But if you keep adding subs and fresh legs, nobody's going to get tired.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.